Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and guess what? We've got another network-attached storage device to take a look at. The folks from Terra sent us this one to review, and you know, it's okay. I mean, if this came out 4 or 5 years ago, I would say it's great because it does what it's supposed to do, except in the shadow of Synology and WD and all these other folks who've really designed killer interfaces around their products, this one, especially on the software side, really falls short. But let's take a look at it anyway. This is it here. It's got 2 drive bays that you can configure either as RAID 0, where you can basically combine 2 drives together into one. And of course, that is scary. If you lose one of the drives, the whole array disappears. But you can also mirror one drive to the other, so you can have redundancy built in, or you can run the drives individually. And there's a setup screen to take care of all that. I have SSDs in here right now because I wanted to find the fastest drives I could put in it to do some benchmarking. It does not come with drives, so you'll need to purchase hard drives with it when you get it installed. On the back, you have gigabit Ethernet because just like some of these other products we reviewed, this requires a network connection and won't plug in directly to your computer. You have an eSATA connection here, so you can get a faster external drive, as well as a USB 2.0 port to connect a external hard drive there. So you can use those 2 ports to mount drives on your local network, or you can use those as backups, so you can send files off of the device onto an external drive, much like we could do on the other 2 devices. Now, my gripe is, well, one of my many gripes with the software is that when I went to follow the directions to configure the drive, it could not find my drive on the network. You have to use this software called T-Cloud, and what it's supposed to do is find your device and allow you to configure it, and also be able to use the cloud service so you can hit the drive when you're on an external network. And for the life of me, I could not get this to find this on the network, even though they were plugged into the same exact switch. You can't manually force it to find the drive this way, so pretty much all the cloud functions for me were completely useless. I wasn't even able to get it to work on Windows either, and on the Mac at least, it requires Java to run, so it's not even a native Mac application. So that was an issue. But I was able to find the drive on my network and connect to its web-based control panel. And when you get in there, it's not too bad. I mean, there's a configuration wizard that walks you through some things. I did find there was a lot of translation issues. This was a Chinese-made product, and it comes from a Chinese manufacturer. So even in the manual, the English just doesn't seem right. And as you step through some of the configuration options, the wording is a little, not confusing, but might be a little off-putting for some newer users to networking and to configuring different devices. By default, it set itself to Shanghai time, so you have to go in and set up which time zone you want to be on. I have it, at least I thought I had it synchronizing with the time server, but it looks like I forgot all those settings here. But I'll just step through these real quick because I wanted to show you some of the applications that it has available. And as you know, a lot of those other network-attached storage devices we looked at have some neat apps, and this one does too, not as many. But you can basically turn on things like Windows file sharing and FTP and the DLNA server and some other things. But it really lacks the intuitiveness that I've seen on other network-attached storage devices that cost less too. So some issues there. But beyond that, you can configure your hard drives. Again, you have to step through everything kind of on your own as you go here, and it just doesn't have that feel of a polished product. And I'm not sure if they can improve this over time with better firmware. But I don't think this is going to be very good for a beginner, especially if you're trying to find something simple to get hooked up on your network. You might have some issues there. There are some other things too. If you look at the Download Station app here, and if I go to open that software, which is basically a web-based thing, everything's in Chinese. So if I wanted to use this onboard app, I'd have to learn to speak the language or read the language, or try Google's translation and see what comes up there, although of course it doesn't seem to work very well. So, software-wise, it's a bit of a problem for me. But let's take a look at some benchmarks. So performance-wise, the speed isn't too bad considering its price point. We get about 40 to 45 megabytes per second in write speeds and about 100 to 110 megabytes per second reads. This is about as fast as we're going to get this because we have 2 solid-state drives installed right now in RAID 0. So I think you probably aren't going to gain any benefit by buying this with some solid-state drives. I think you'll probably be fine with even like the green drives from WD or something like that, because it's really just not going to it doesn't have the horsepower processor-wise to take advantage of solid-state disks. You might get better latency than you would on a spinning disk, but quite frankly, on a network-attached storage device, latency really isn't as big of a deal as it might be on something that's plugged directly into your computers. The mobile apps on the Terra drive are completely lacking. There just aren't any that they actually make. They do recommend looking at 2 apps, one for the iPhone and one for Android, but both again are third-party apps and the iPhone app actually costs extra. So there's no free app involved at all, and it really isn't designed to work with the drive. It just supports some of the network protocols that it uses. On balance, I think it's, it works fine as a local network attached storage device. Does not really work for me at all remotely because I couldn't get it configured to do what I wanted it to do. So feature for feature, I really have a hard time recommending this, especially when the Synology, that I think was the 212 SE that we looked at last week, especially when that has all those features and costs less than this does with pretty much the same dual drive configuration. So I think if this costs less, it would be something worth considering, but given what else is out there, there's certainly much better products than this available, and I can't really recommend this one at all. This is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.